Ever wondered what happens when a Hollywood heist movie comes to life? Well, on a seemingly ordinary day in 1991, Manchester Airport became the set for one of the most audacious robberies in British history. We're not talking about a simple smash and grab. This was a full-blown, movie-style heist, right on the active runway, involving armed robbers, a hijacked van, and £250,000 worth of solid gold bullion. So, picture this, March 29, 1991. It's a busy day at Manchester Airport, planes taking off, passengers bustling about. Among the chaos, a KLM flight is being loaded with precious cargo, gold bars destined for the Netherlands. But someone else had their eyes on that gold. A carefully orchestrated plan was about to unfold in broad daylight. The masterminds behind this were no amateurs. They had insider knowledge. They knew the flight schedules, the cargo details, and most importantly, the airport's security protocols, or lack thereof. Their plan was simple in its audacity but complex in its execution. They needed to get onto the highly secure airside, intercept the gold before it was loaded onto the plane, and vanish without a trace. Their key to breaching the airport's defenses: a humble Ford Transit van, cleverly disguised to look like an official airport vehicle. This wasn't just a quick paint job, it was kitted out to blend in perfectly. As the security van carrying the gold made its way across the tarmac towards the waiting KLM aircraft, the disguised van made its move. Suddenly, the Ford Transit screeches to a halt, cutting off the security vehicle. The doors fly open, and out jump several figures, their faces obscured, brandishing shotguns. Can you imagine the shock for the security guards? 1 minute they're doing a routine delivery, the next they're staring down the barrel of a gun on an active airfield. The armed gang wasted no time. They were a well-oiled machine. They quickly overpowered the two security guards, ordering them out of the van and onto the ground. There was no room for negotiation. With the guards neutralized, the robbers swiftly transferred the heavy boxes of gold bullion from the security van into their own. We're talking about a significant weight here, £250,000 worth of gold. In today's money, that's well over £500,000. Now, here's where it gets even more cinematic. As they're loading the gold, a British Airways 757 is taxiing nearby, its pilots and passengers getting a front row seat to a live-action crime scene. The control tower is in a state of confusion. This just doesn't happen. The robbers, cool as you like, finish their work, jump back in their van, and speed away. But they didn't just drive out the front gate. Remember that insider knowledge. They knew the layout of the airport like the back of their hand. They drove across the airfield, away from the terminal, towards a less patrolled perimeter fence. They crashed right through it, leaving a gaping hole and a trail of chaos behind them. On the other side, a getaway car was waiting. They abandoned the Ford Transit, piled into the second vehicle, and disappeared into the Manchester suburbs. The whole operation, from start to finish, took just a few minutes. It was ruthlessly efficient. The aftermath was pure pandemonium. Airport police and Greater Manchester Police swarmed the scene. The airport was locked down. The security guards were shaken but unharmed. The stolen gold was gone. And the investigation began. The police had a few clues: the abandoned van, witness descriptions from the airline pilots, and the sheer audacity of the crime itself, which suggested a professional, well-organized gang. The police immediately suspected an inside job. How else could the robbers have known the exact time and location of the gold transfer? They began looking into airport staff, security personnel, anyone with access to sensitive information. The disguised van was a key piece of evidence. It had been stolen weeks earlier, and forensics teams scoured it for any trace the robbers might have left behind. The public was captivated. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a story straight out of a thriller novel. The newspapers called it the runway robbery. Who were these daring criminals who could pull off such a heist and melt away? The police pressure was immense. A breakthrough came, but not in the way you might expect. No dramatic car chase, no final shootout. It came through good old-fashioned police work and a bit of criminal carelessness. The investigation started to focus on a notorious crime family from Salford, a name well known to the Greater Manchester Police. The linchpin of the case turned out to be one of the getaway drivers. He got nervous. Maybe the pressure was too much, or maybe he felt he was going to be double-crossed by his partners in crime. Whatever the reason, he started talking. He became what's known in the underworld as a supergrass, a high-level informant. He gave the police everything: the names of everyone involved, the planning stages, how they acquired the van, where they got the weapons, and who the inside man was. And the insider. It was an employee working for the very security firm tasked with transporting the gold. He had provided the crucial details that made the entire heist possible. His betrayal was the key to their success. Armed with this detailed testimony, the police moved in. They launched a series of raids, arresting the suspected gang members. The trial was a media sensation. The informant's evidence was crucial. He laid out the entire plot for the jury, painting a vivid picture of a gang that thought they were untouchable. In the end, several members of the gang were convicted and received long prison sentences. Justice was served, but there was one little problem: the gold. Despite the convictions, the £250,000 worth of gold bullion was never recovered. Not a single bar. It's believed to have been melted down and sold off almost immediately after the robbery, its golden trail going cold forever. So what's the legacy of the 1991 Manchester Airport gold robbery? Well, for one, it was a massive wake-up call for airport security around the world. It exposed glaring weaknesses in how valuable cargo was handled and how supposedly secure areas could be breached. In the wake of the heist, protocols were completely overhauled. Things like airside security, vehicle identification, and cargo transfer procedures were all tightened up significantly. You could say this robbery, in a strange way, made airports safer. It remains one of the most audacious and brilliantly planned heists in British criminal history. A crime that was so bold, so brazen, it almost felt like fiction. But for a few minutes on that March day in 1991, it was very, very real. A gang of robbers turned a runway into their own personal goldmine, and apart from their freedom, they pretty much got away with it. The gold is still out there, somewhere, melted and remolded, its criminal origins lost to time. It's a story that proves that sometimes, reality can be more thrilling than any movie. What do you think happened to the gold? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this dive into true crime history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. See you next time.